Before we kick off this video, I want to lay down a foundation. I expect that you already watched my ICC tactics video or know the tactics to these boss fights before we even begin the video. The three boss fights that we are going to be discussing are going to be at the start, Professor Putricide, followed by Blood Queen Lanathel, followed by Sindragosa. Okay? In this video, I address specifications to each of these fights for the maximum success of your infusions during each fight. You should have tank gear and Shadow's Edge equipped so you are as durable as possible whilst also capable of gaining infusion. Your raid should be easily able to complete these boss fights without you, as the infusion adds an extra layer of difficulty to the boss encounters. Sometimes it is advisable to do the boss fights on normal if you are doing the infusion, instead of heroic, as it's too much difficulty for many raids to have to do an infusion and do the heroic encounter at the same exact time. So please be aware of this. If you're doing your infusions, please let your raid leader know ahead of time and don't think you're going to do this in a pug. These infusion quests are not super easy. They add extra difficulty to the raid, and thus you should not try to do this in a random pug encounter, as you will probably wipe your raid and ruin your pug, okay? Alright, so here is your guide for infusion quests on Shadowmourne. This is Unholy Infusion to begin with, okay? So we're going to run up to the table on Warmane. You don't want to use any abilities because then Abomination will bug out. Anyways, you run up to the table, you wait 5 seconds, boom, you turn into the Abomination. You need to get center puddle to drink the ooze puddles, the slime puddles, or else you won't be able to drink them. You need to just drink them. Sometimes jumping can cancel the animation, so a lot of abominations like to jump and drink, jump and drink, jump and drink. Now you have three abilities. The first ability you have is the drink ability. The second ability you have is the spit ability. You'll spit a slow on an enemy target. And the third one is your devastate. It's like the Warrior's Devastate that applies under armor, but it's a special customized Devastate for the Abomination. So you just drink the puddles, then you slow the ooze. Right here, I don't slow the ooze. I believe this was intentional. However, the raid leader, yeah, this was intentional. The raid leader let me ignore this ooze and just fill up my stuff. This is not how you're supposed to, though. You're supposed to slow the first screen, then you slow the first screen, then you slow the first orange ooze, and then after that you should infuse. So right here I could infuse, but I'm not getting rejuves, so you want your Resto Druids to use Rejuvenation on the Abomination at all times to give him extra energy, and you want your Discipline Priests to use Shield, level 1 Shield on the Abomination, so it breaks and immediately gives energy to the Abomination as well. You slow the first orange ooze, as you can see right here, so drink, 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 slow the first orange ooze, and then we continue DPSing. Like the rest of the raid will continue DPSing. Keep drinking, drink as much as possible and as fast as possible. Infuse as soon as possible. Right after the orange juice is slowed, you want to infuse immediately. Then you can see the raid's DPS. The raid's DPS is quite decent. So the raid, I don't think the raid is gonna stop and kill the green ooze. They're just gonna push the boss. You want to finish off any puddles like I just did there. There was 3 puddles. I finished off one of them. If you don't drink the puddles as fast as possible and you let them build up a little, there can be a problem where you fall behind on the puddle growth. As normal spawns puddles much faster and rigorously than on heroic. So after you do your infusion, make sure you should be doing this in tank gear. As you can see, I'm at the top. I don't worry about the DPS. I has like 43k health or something. I can't see it. It's like 108p on my editing software, so it's actually terrible. But yeah, you wanna wear all your tank gear and only Shadow's Edge, so you're as tanky as possible, so you can't die during the infusion. And so you infuse your thing, and then after you get your infusion done, you can actually swap out of the abomination and let somebody else do their infusion as well on the unholy. So you just dispel the abomination after he slows the orange ooze, and then you swap somebody else in, and they do the same thing. They ignore the green ooze, and then they slow the orange ooze, infuse, and then you can rinse repeat. And you could do like many infusions for the unholy infusion. Anyways, that was PP. As you can see, infuse Shadow's Edge with Unholy Power, then kill him. Turn in the quest right here. And that was the Unholy Infusion. Booyah. To start off this fight, equip your tank gear, Shadow's Edge, and have a healer know that you're a specified target that will take additional damage every second. Make sure to run side by side with the tank as I'm doing here and soak the blood mirror as if you were the tank as the fight begins. This will proc and activate the debuff Gushing Wounds, which we will need to stack up to 4 before the fight ends. You can stack this debuff by getting bit by the vampire and then subsequently biting 3 players afterwards, giving 1 stack each until you fully infuse Shadow's Edge with blood after the 4th stack. At 4 stacks, the debuff vanishes and you get an explosion of blood and you are ready to finish the boss off. While it is possible to DPS this with the infusion, it's not optimal as the infusion gives a stacking debuff of Gushing Wounds that both increases the damage you take, giving you more and more dot damage, reduces your damage output by 10% per stack, and since you have to get the first or second bite during this counter, this is a lot of damage lost. So this fight also puts the Infusion Quest player at high risk, and thus why I recommend tank gear. It's very much a burden if you try to do this in DPS gear. You lose out on like 10, 20, 30% damage done, and then you die halfway through the fight. So I would highly recommend just putting the tank gear on, accepting yourself as a damage loss, removing the second bite and yourself as a DPS from the fight. And like you take an L on damage, but you should be able to complete the encounter anyways if you're doing an infusion. You should be able to complete it easily without it. So as you get the bite right there, I got the bite. We got 2 stacks of the debuff. I'm gonna bite somebody else. So make sure that you have your persons targeted. This one is kind of poor. I wasn't finding the person ahead of time, but here I go. I run up to the guy, press 1, boom, bite him. He's done. I get another stack of my Gushing Wounds. I'm at 3 stacks. The boss is almost dead. This is bad. If the boss dies before you get your bite off, you don't get your infusion. You have to get all 4 stacks of Gushing Wounds done immediately before the boss dies. So as you can see right here, I find my target who I'm gonna bite, and I bite this player before the boss dies. Right here, rush, 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 bite, boom, explosion of blood. I'm ready to infuse. I'm ready to kill her. Finish her off. Okay, once she's done, should infuse Shadow's Edge with the blood, then defeat Lanathel as shown at the top of the screen. That's how you do it. I recommend doing this on normal so it's not as intrusive to your raid group. It's actually much harder without the 30% buff. And on Classic, you won't be getting the 30% buff. But anyways, turn in your quest and move on to Sindragosa. This one, I'm not really going to go through like the effort of writing a script and uh, like slowing down the video all too much. This is the most basic and simple of the 3 infusions. I still recommend tank gear so you don't die, and overall just DPS the boss right here. As you can see, you want to go in front of the boss and get breathed on. If you go too close to the tank as you just seen me do, I was standing right next to him. I got cleaved. I could have died. If I got crit, I would have died. So I would have lost my infusion. So as you can see, I have 2 stacks of the infusion debuff right there, and right there, frost infusion. I'm taking damage over time as I was on Blood Queen, so it's problematic to just do this in a pug. These infusion quests should be done with a guild, with an organized group of people that know that you're doing them. And yeah, so you just need to take 4 frost breaths and you'll have your infusion done. So right here, I think I missed that one. It's okay. If I didn't, I'll know in a second. Okay, you stand far behind the tank. Boom, you get breathed on. So I didn't miss that. As you can see at the top, right next to Hand of Freedom, right there, Frost Infusion at the top. We're set to kill the boss, so just finish the boss off. Once the boss dies, you'll have your infusion done. So I get the tomb. This is one of the benefits. Boom, you're immune to the frost tombs when you're doing your infusion. So yeah, you just burn down the boss, DPS race in phase 2, and once the boss is dead, infusion is done. Booyah. Infuse Shadow's Edge with the Frost and slay Sindragosa. That's actually super simple and easy. Frost Infusion is the easiest one. There's no problems with it. You could do this in pugs. This one is super easy, as long as you have the DPS. So turn it in, and congratulations, you are about to start collecting shards. So, yeah. Alright, so hopefully at this point, all you gotta do is farm out your shards for Shadowmourne, and you'll have it in about 50 more shards. It takes a while. It could take usually like 2 to 3 months on average, in my opinion, as long as you're doing like 8 heroic bosses with a 12 out of 12 run. Lich King drops a guaranteed shard every single time. And yeah, so make sure you're killing the Lich King every single one of your runs to get a guaranteed shard. Plus, heroics have a higher chop chance. Normal has like 25 to 50% chance, and heroic has like 75 to 99 or something like that. So it's a very high drop chance on the shards. So yeah. Anyways, if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and also make sure to check out my channel for more content, either guides and stuff like Heroic Lich King tactics, Heroic Sindragosa tactics. As you can see, we're doing Heroic Sindragosa right here in this video. So yeah, make sure to check out the channel and catch some of my other content. I upload daily World of Warcraft videos, and I hope you subscribe and become a fan of mine. Even if you're not a fan, you just enjoy my content. Either way, I put a lot of effort in these videos, and I hope you're gonna enjoy them with me. Thank you, and have a great day as always.